Good?
Yes.
Okay, start.
So I wanted to start learning Chovatul Avavot. I figured we'd start learning from Shar Bitachon. Bitachon is something that we all need, especially myself, and I'm sure everybody else in the world would need Bitachon. So we're going to learn exactly what Bitachon is. What does it mean, Bitachon? What does it mean to trust in Hashem? So he writes over here that before he started speaking about Bitachon, in the chapter previous, he spoke about the obligation that everybody has to serve Hashem. And once a person understands that every single individual is obligated to serve Hashem, everybody has an obligation to serve Hashem. Of course, everybody based on what he is, what's his potential, what he has to do, his obligations. Everybody according to his potential has to be able to serve Hashem more or less, but everybody must serve Hashem to the fullest extent that he can. He says after he discussed the obligation to serve Hashem, now he's going to discuss the obligation of bitachon in Hashem. He says that in order for a person to be able to achieve shleimut b'Torah, in order for a person to achieve wholeness in Torah and serve Hashem, he needs to have bitachon, especially if a person wants to have osher, happiness, and simcha in life. Right, a person must have bitachon. He says, he says one of the benefits that a person has through bitachon is like we just said, shlemut in Hashem wadat Hashem. How? He says through when a person has bitachon in Hashem, it's just like a servant, right, has bitachon on his master. Right, imagine a person's a servant, he's living in his master's house, he doesn't worry about anything. He knows his master takes care of everything, all the bills, everything the master pays, he doesn't do anything. Right, he just has to do his part, but everything else is taken care of. He doesn't have to be concerned about bills, buying this, buying that. This is not his department. He knows the master does everything. It's the same thing also. Right? He has calmness, he has no worries. So to also a person trusts in Hashem, right? He's calm, he has no worries, he's not worried about anything, and when a person is free of worry, he's able to serve Hashem properly. If a person's always worried, he's never going to be able to serve Hashem. He's always going to be concerned, he's always going to be nervous, his heart's always going to be a little bit jumpy, he's not going to be able to sit down and learn and serve Hashem and do whatever he's supposed to do. So therefore it says, it's impossible, he says, that a person should be free of worry, not unless he has bitachon in Hashem. The only way a person can free himself of worry if he trusts in Hashem. He says, because if a person doesn't trust in Hashem, he trusts in something else. Whether he trusts in people, it could be he trusts in his employer, he trusts in his parents, he trusts in his uncle, he trusts in his in-laws, he trusts in something else. Right? Every person trusts in something. It's whether God, it's whether somebody, or it's whether your wealth. Some people feel very comfortable that they could just sit on their money and they have a certain sense of security because they have money, so they trust in their money, they don't trust in Hashem. Or a person is very clever and smart and he has a lot of, is very good in business or whatever else it might be. A person trusts in his abilities to be able to go out there and to make it at any given time. Instead of Hashem. So many people feel like, I don't need God. I could do whatever I need to do without Hashem. Right? A person might feel like I could do whatever I want to do without Hashem. So such a person, he says a person that believes in something else except Hashem, this is a very scary statement. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes his hashgacha pratit from such a person. Not only if a person trusts in his wealth, if a person trusts in his chokhmah, a person trusts in his business, a person trusts in his parents, right? Such an individual, HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes his hashgacha pratit, he removes his divine providence from him, and he leaves him to nature, to whatever he trusts in. So here, picture yourself, what I think he means is like this. First of all, I have a question here. I'll tell you what my question is. Is bitachon all or nothing? Meaning to say a person has bitachon and Hashem in 1 or 2, 3 areas, but he doesn't have bitachon and Hashem in 1 or 2, 3 areas. Does the Kadosh Baruch Hu remove his hashgacha pratit all around from this person and leave him to nature? Or no, wherever he has bitachon, he has hashgacha pratit, or where he doesn't have bitachon, he doesn't have hashgacha pratit. I'm not sure. Right?
English.
I don't trust nobody. I trust Hashem.
Yeah.
But because my sins, I tell him my maybe he's not gonna also. You understand? It's not that I don't trust him.
I understand.
I said nobody is there, but he is the one. But he will not guide me. Why? Because I don't. I don't believe, I don't make him happy. I do things that against him.
So he's going to discuss that later on, right? If a person is growing and a person is trying to be righteous and a person trusts in Hashem, Hashem will always guide a person.
But it also doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do your ishtadlut. It means that
we're going to discuss.
Just go, okay, you know what, Hashem, I trust you.
We're gonna discuss.
Take me wherever you want.
We're gonna
sinking boat.
We're gonna discuss ishtadlut. We're gonna discuss bitachon. We're gonna discuss what bitachon is and what ishtadlut is. Everything one step at a time. First, let's do the foundations of what bitachon is before we start getting into actual practicality of how does bitachon apply and how a person lives by bitachon. Right?
Shara bitachon, by the way.
Yes, the shara bitachon. It's actually, they say it's a segula for parnasa to learn shara bitachon.
What's the connection?
That's what they say.
He give you the parnasa, the botah.
I'm learning this also every day. What's that?
Huh?
I'm learning the book also every day.
A person that trusts in somebody else but something else but Hashem, Hashem removes his hashkacha pratit from him and leaves him to what he trusts in. That means that if a person could be davening to Hashem, for example, say a person is a shidduch, right? And he's davening to Hashem and he's crying to Hashem, but he doesn't have bitachon in Hashem. If the shadchan doesn't call him back, he gets angry at the shadchan, starts cursing, starts, these people, they don't care about anybody, they don't know what it is, they start, so the person really doesn't have bitachon in Hashem, because obviously, if it didn't work out with the shadchan, because the shadchan is not the shliach that Hashem wants in order for you to find your shidduch. So if a person could be davening, but he doesn't have bitachon, then how does that work? Does the tefillah create hashkacha pratis if a person doesn't have bitachon? It's very tricky. So you see that bitachon is very important. If a person really wants Hashem to get involved in his life on a personal level, a person really needs to trust in Hashem. Because if a person doesn't trust in Hashem, then a person is left to nature. Right? Whatever hishtadlus the person does, that's how far it gets him. No hishtadlus, nothing gets him. Right? The person needs to make the right moves. The person needs to do the right things. The person needs to go all out and do everything he could do. Because such a person doesn't have bitachon. Bitachon is like that, it fills that gap of hishtadlus that you don't have to do. You know what I mean? It says, and not only that, he says, a person that doesn't have bitachon, he's like the people that fall under the category of this pasuk that says, Klal Yisrael did two evil things to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It says, Oti Ozvu, Mokor Maim Chaim. They left Hashem, which is the source of all shefa, the source of all good, the source of everything is the Borei Olam. Kadosh Baruch Hu is the Baalei Echol. Kadosh Baruch Hu can do anything whenever he wants, however he wants, even above nature. The Ramchal says, even though Kadosh Baruch Hu created a system where everything is perfect, and generally Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world in a system where everything is natural, but he says, right? It says over there. He brings the pasuk of Pachuk. He says over there that Kadosh Baruch Hu really at any given time could do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, to whoever he wants, even if he doesn't deserve it, even above all the laws of nature, right? So a person that has that bitachon in Hashem, he in a way breaks out of the borders of what nature is, right? That it says over here, the Klal Yisrael, right? And Yirmiyah Hanavi was rebuking Klal Yisrael that they left Hashem and they started to go after the goyim. Right? They started to go after the goyim, living like them, dressing like them, behaving like them, talking like them, thinking like them, doing business like them, living everything like the goyim, right? They even started to go into to marry into goyim. It says it got to a point where the Navi says, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu tells the Navi that the Klal Yisrael left him, the source of everything, to vanity. Even if they would leave Hashem, say they would find something similar, which is impossible, but say they would. It wouldn't be as bad. It would still be bad. But he says, they went and they started to go after things that have nothing to it, empty. They started to go into Avodah Zarah, live like the Goyim. They started to believe in whatever they wanted. The truth is, the Rambam says that one of the main reasons why the Jewish people went after Avodah Zarah is latir lehem arayot, in order to be able to allow themselves to do any avarah they wanted to do. So a Jew, when he wants to do something, he has a conscience. But he wants to, the two strongest yitzharot, right, is food and woman, right? Machalot arasirot and asirot, right? So in order for a person to be able to break through that guilt conscience where he just wants to do whatever he wants, he says, okay, now he's another part of another religion, here everything's mutter, right? So that's what the Rambam says is one of the reasons why they wanted to switch religions, is because they wanted to do whatever they wanted. They wanted to fool around whatever they wanted to do. And you find that, it didn't take too long either. Right after they came into Eretz Yisrael, Yeshua told Klal Yisrael. Yeshua warned them, it's clearly in the Navi. Yeshua says that if you guys are going to start going around and fooling around the goyim and becoming like the goyim, just like Hashem was happy taking you out of Mitzrayim, Hashem will be happy destroying you. The Yeshua tells the Jewish people, right? Just like He was happy taking you out of Mitzrayim, if you're going to go and, let's say, two-face Hashem and go after the goyim and do avodah zarah and not listen to the will of Hashem, Hashem will be just as happy to destroy you. Chas v'shalom. It's a very strong statement that Yeshua told Klal. He told us to Klal so directly, right? Back in the day, the Nevi'im weren't scared to speak to people. Today, people are nervous to say something, right? Otherwise, they give up their fame, they give up everything, right? So people are scared to talk. Otherwise, people don't like them anymore, right? But Lema said, the Nevi'im, they spoke the truth all the time. They weren't scared of anybody. Lo tagurim b'nei ish.
Their lives too.
What? They gave up their lives too.
For saying these things.
That's true, but it says, Lo tagurim b'nei ish. A person cannot be scared of anybody. You have to say the truth. You're a servant of Hashem. You have to speak the truth. You're scared of Hashem, you're scared of people. You're scared of people, don't speak. Go home. You have to say the truth. People have to hear the truth. Right? So Yeshua told it to them as straight as it could be. Yeshua told it to them. Right? And they still loved him. Why? Because they realized that He cares for them. If somebody really cares for you, tell you the truth. Somebody cares for himself, doesn't care for you, he's not going to tell you the truth. It says that they went and they left the Borei Olam, even right after they came out of Mitzrayim. Right? Even right after they left out of Mitzrayim, they went and did the Egel. What does it say? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to wipe them out. If it wouldn't have been for Moshe Rabbeinu, they came to daven for them. Right? So see that the Klal Yisrael, for some reason, his bitachon was like, they always wanted to find something physical or something. It seems very... Right? V'ne'emar arura geven, the pasuk says, cursed is the person, asher yiftach ba'adam, that trusts in other people. Right? Sometimes the person is in the middle of something, and you trust in people. For example, right now you got a business deal. And it's pending, let's call it, right? And you can make a nice amount. So now there's a test of bitachon for you, right? Are you looking forward for him, or you trust in Hashem, right?
How can you distinguish that? If the guy is doing the deal, and he's the one who's...
I'll tell you how. You tell Hashem if the deal is supposed to go through. If not, then it's your will also. Whichever way it works out, you're happy, right? Whichever way it works out, you're happy. You're not looking forward to the person, excited to see if he's going to call you. You continue on with your life. You trust in Hashem that if it's going to come to you, it's going to come to you. If it's not going to come to you, it's not going to come to you. This person is just a messenger. He's not your source. Right? V'sam, right? Of course, there's a person that trusts in people. V'sam besar zera'o, right? That he puts flesh as the strength. His business partners are the source of his parnasa. His customers is this, is that. It's such a person that trusts in his own hashtadlus. In the eyes of Hashem, such a person is considered like a cursed person. Umin Hashem yasur libo. His heart is completely removed from Hashem. It doesn't approach life with bitachon. It doesn't realize that everything's min Hashemayim. It doesn't realize that everything's min Hashemayim. I'll tell you a story. That happened. It was a crazy story. I don't know if the guy's going to listen to the show anyways. Right? I don't know if the guy's going to listen to the show anyways. A landlord and a tenant had an issue. And the tenant called me complaining if I could speak to her landlord. I said, okay, what happened? The landlord...
Both Jews.
The landlord and the tenant made up that when the tenant moves out, the landlord's going to pay her like $2,000 or something. For something. They made some sort of... I don't know exactly what it was. They made an agreement. It doesn't have to be on paper. They both agreed to it. And at the end...
The landlord did not give it.
And the landlord didn't give it to her, and she was very upset. She was a single lady. And I'm telling you, a few weeks later, I spoke to the landlord, and something crazy happened to him, and he lost $2,000. Somebody stole something from him. And I was like, you're such a moron. It's such a clear connection. It's such a clear connection. It was mamash mida connected mida. People don't even see it.
Right, but I'm saying...
People don't even see it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to you, don't even see it. People don't realize the connection that everything's from Hashem. People don't realize. You lost what you were supposed to lose. You could have gave it this way, you could have lost it this way. This was the cause of that. But people don't see it. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see
Is
it.
it for sure that's how it is?
Yeah.
To me, it was pretty clear.
There's no such thing as
2
coincidence.
+ 2 equals 4.
Yeah, but I mean,
Not
like, there could
one.
be other things that you did.
There could be.
to get that.
There could be, but you always have to make a cheshbon and nefesh to what you see. You can't be a navi. You can't start fantasizing. Maybe it's something else, but it just made sense. The 2 + 2 makes 4, like he said. It makes sense to say that, My point being is that a person that doesn't trust in Hashem, And the person that doesn't trust in Hashem doesn't see Hashem in anything. Doesn't see Hashem in anything. Right? If this person doesn't go on, hopefully it won't happen to any of us, but doesn't just say, okay, whatever, Gamzu lo tov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. Hashem natan, Hashem lakach, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took.
Do you say that? Do you say Gamzu lo tov or what?
You always have to say Gamzu lo tov.
Even though he lost it both ways? He lost
You
it
still
that
had
way?
to give another 2,000
Yes.
tenants. That's the halacha.
Yes.
מוצא שפתיך שמור, a person who says something from his mouth is dangerous.
מי שלוקח משלם פעמיים.
I wish I had a penny for every person that promised.
You have to,
I'd be a billionaire.
but you have to, a person needs to have, a person that has bitachon in Hashem has a different attitude. Right? A person that has bitachon in Hashem is a completely different attitude. Right? You're sitting down and suddenly somebody bumped you in the back on the highway and broke your bumper. Now you got late somewhere and you missed something. Right? So there's two different attitudes. You can say, okay, Gamzu lo tov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to happen the way exactly it happened. Exactly the way it wanted to happen, that's exactly the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted it to happen. That's one attitude, that a person sees that Hashem is involved in his life. Another attitude is, because of you should have been watching me careful, should have not taken this highway, should have not done that, should have not, a person going to go in circles.
Came out earlier.
Should have, could have, didn't, that, just starts blaming the whole world. But Lama said, a person will blame everything, but he doesn't just say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put me exactly in this situation, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted me to be in this situation.
Every time my wife hits my car, I say Gamzu lo tov. She did it.
Your car.
Yeah.
Hashem gives you
The
everything
first one
Tova.
she hit the car twice. The first one.
ועל מי שבטח בהשם, it says, ברוך הגבר אשר יפתח באדוני, והיה אדוני מפתחו. It says, the person that trusts in Hashem is considered blessed. Adam mevorach. Why? Such a person, Hashgacha Pratit, is involved with him in every aspect of life.
If a person does something the right way, you can prevent things from going a different way.
I didn't hear what you said,
Maybe
what?
someone's responsible and not sloppy.
Yeah.
It's not all from Hashem. It's like he is, if he gets into problems, it's more of his fault, you can say.
That's true.
It's not in
But
Hashem.
it's still in
That's
the
true.
time.
So
But
how do you know the difference between
You don't.
Hashem talking to you or something you made a mistake on?
it's all one thing. It's all one thing.
You don't want it, but you want
The
it.
fact,
Let's say you did a sin, for example.
I'll tell you something. It says by Yiftach, and Yiftach, I think it was Yiftach, he killed his own daughter.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, because of what he said.
And it says that the Beis Din made a mistake in the psak, and they didn't matter his nether. I think those were
They wanted to matter his net. He
He
didn't want it.
didn't want it himself.
Right, remember.
If I remember correctly, there's a Mefarish, there's a Vedeh that says that they made a toast in the halacha, and I think he didn't need Hataras Siddur or something like that. I don't remember all the details. I remember seeing one of the Mefarshim saying that Yiftach made the whole Beis Din made a ta'ut in the halacha, and it was a gorem that she should die, but it says even that was min hashamayim.
Yeah, but technically speaking,
Even their mistake that Beis Din made was min hashamayim, in order to cause the reaction that it got to. So to go and to say, you did it wasn't Hashem's very hard to say, because the bottom line is, the fact that it turned out the way it did, and the fact that you made that mistake was also min hashamayim.
It's hard. The guy had a choice and then made a mistake. It's clear that Hashem didn't want it to go that way.
It did. If it was supposed to be a different way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have made it a different way.
I was upset.
At all.
All the choices
Hashem was upset because he said anything came out.
It is, but it's always but it's always revolving around what you created to sort of guide you towards those decisions. Meaning to say, it's a free choice, but it's limited to a certain extent. Yes, your free choices are bounded by the situations that Hashem puts you in.
Is there a reason why Birkat HaMazon is signed off with that pasuk? Baruch HaGever Asher Yiftach?
Because the whole thing talks about HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being mefarnas the whole entire world. So it gives you that, a person who has bitachon in Hashem, it's a different quality of life. A person has bitachon in Hashem. It's just a completely different quality of life. A person doesn't have bitachon in Hashem, life is a different reality. He says, Asher Giver Asher Sam Miftacho, Hashem Miftacho, V'lo Fana L'Ravim Esat Chazav. What is that? He says, praiseworthy is Hashem, the person that trusts in Hashem, that he doesn't look forward to people that have koach, agavan. Now some people, they're very weak, so they, suck up to people that are stronger than them. Why? Because they want to have a certain sense of security. So they suck up to people that are stronger than them. So such people also, right? He looks toward Sheker, as if somebody has the ability to help you if Hashem doesn't want him to help you. That's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts into people's hearts to help you or not to help you. Right? It's irrelevant of the person's reactions.
But you should not still try. I mean, the example you just gave, he puts it into a person's heart to help you, not to help you. You can still seek it. It's not like you should just sit down and do nothing.
That's true. We're gonna discuss Hishtadlus and Totzah a little bit later on.
What is it,
How things play themselves out, what exactly is Min HaShamayim, what's not Min HaShamayim. But it's true when you ask somebody for something, right? And he says no, or he says yes. You have to believe, B'lev Shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put it in his heart to say yes or no.
So you want? You tell me I can't go to the next person and ask?
You could.
Okay, so
This person was not the shliach that was supposed to help you, or this person is the shliach that's supposed to help you. That's true.
Deserve to help you.
That's true. Magagalin chiyuv al yedei chayav, magagalin zchut al yedei zakai. Right? So you're right. But every single individual is not an individual of themselves. The Rambam writes, why is it asur to have a grudge against somebody? The Torah says, lo tikom v'lo titor, right? You're not allowed to have a grudge, you're not allowed to take revenge. Why not? Right? If somebody, the Rambam writes, right, the Chinuch writes, why is it that if somebody comes and he does something wrong to you, why can't I have a grudge? I can't be angry at the guy, I can't hate the guy, right? The guy came out of nowhere, I don't know, he was having a bad day, took a rock, he threw it out the window on your car, right? Somebody's car and broke it. I can't be angry at him, what did I do wrong? Right? Why can't I be angry at him? I can't be upset? Why is there an Isser? The Rambam says, you know why? The Rambam says, it was your own avirot that caused this guy to be sent Min HaShamayim to punish you. Can you believe that?
But he's doing it.
What?
Phone's on 5%.
Is there a charger anywhere?
Charger? You want to go with the charger?
What type of charger?
Huh?
What type of charger?
I think the new ones.
Android or
Yeah.
USB-C?
There is a charger right there.
Let me see it, I'll show you if it's a charger.
No, but it's in the wall.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, we
Tough.
have 5% is going to last for half an hour.
At Hashem. So like this. So for dice, then we'll only have this year, and the Halacha year we'll do another
But
time.
the guy even who threw the rat, he's also going to be punished for that.
Correct. Megalglin chiyuv al yedei
Yeah, but
chayav.
he was the messenger. How could he be punished?
Because the fact that he was the messenger to be chosen to do something wicked shows he himself shows that he himself has avirot that Hashem wants to punish him for.
Double-edged sword. You're
So
making
to the
him a messenger.
The Gemara says,
Again, he's going to
it's
be
a clear
punished for that message.
It's a clear Gemara.
You smacked the person. He deserved it. You yourself are going to be punished because you smacked him.
Because you also deserve it. That's why you were the one sent to smack him, because you yourself supposed to get punished.
Goes after another. It's a lot.
So the Gemara over there gives an example. It says, imagine somebody killed somebody by accident. One person goes into Galut or one person died. The Gemara says, how did this happen? The Gemara gives an example. It says, really the person that died was really somebody that was supposed to die. He did something that he was chayav to be put to death, but he got away with it. The person who killed him, right, was really also supposed to be punished to go into Galut. But it happened to be that he got away with it. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu organizes it that the guy who's supposed to suffer and go into punishment is going to be the one to kill him, because he's supposed to die anyways. So Hashem puts them both in the right place at the right time in order for both of them to get punished through each other.
And why would Hashem want us to kill our brothers?
Megalgalin chiyuv al yedei chayav. If a person is meant to be put to death, a person is meant to be put to death. The Gemara says in Nedarim, the Gemara says, right, once it comes time for a person to die, the whole entire world works with Hashem to kill the person. What does that mean? The Gemara speaks about over there a big guy, he was riding on a donkey. Right? He was riding on a donkey. It says while he was riding on a donkey, he was going over the bridge, suddenly the donkey started to go crazy out of nowhere. It says, Nichnas baruach shtut, and the donkey threw him off and the guy drowned inside the river. It says why? But the Gemara says once it comes time for a person to die, everything in the world already starts to work. It says another person was swimming in the river, and it came time for him to die. He had to die how? Through a what's the name? The scorpion was supposed to bite him. But scorpion cannot swim. So what did it say, the Gemara? The Gemara says that a scorpion went on top of a toad, a big frog. The scorpion went on top of the toad, and the frog was swimming in the water. When the frog got next to the guy, the scorpion came off, went and bit him, and the guy died. Why? The Gemara says, you see that when it comes time for a person to die, the whole entire world works for Hashem in order for this person to go, because now it's time for him to go. The point being is everything is hashgacha pratit. If a person has avirot that he needs to suffer for, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make it that he'll buy a house right next to somebody that's going to drive him crazy every day. Why? It was his tikkun. Right? Everything is hashgacha pratit. There is, based on what you do, that's how life is going to come back at a person in every aspect of it. So every single little thing that happens to a person was designed exactly for the person, good or bad. Everything is hashgacha pratit. There's no such a thing as, it just happened to be a coincidence. The guy was there, it worked out, it didn't work out, There's no such thing. Everything is hashgacha pratit 100%. 100%. Right? But the question is, when a person wants to go at life, when a person is looking for a shidduch, when a person wants children, when a person is going out to the panasa world, when a person is living life, right? If he wants Hashem to be involved with him in life, in detail, in every detail of his life, a person needs to have bitachon. A person needs to trust in Hashem. What? Emunah is halacha, bitachon is lamaaseh. Emunah means that a person believes in Hashem and trusts in Hashem and he's loyal to Hashem. Bitachon means that he's actually living his life in a way that shows his trust in Hashem. He makes the decisions to show his belief in Hashem. Come, sit down, where are you? I haven't seen you in a long time.
He's right now.
Change words.
So look, this is still the introduction. Bitachon is a very long topic. We're going to discuss all the details of bitachon as we go week by week. Right? If I'm going to answer all your questions, right, you have to come and you have to learn. This is the fundamental sefer. First you have to learn what everything is. And then once you learn everything, then you can ask questions. And then we can get the answers also. Now we'll go back to Hilchot Shabbat. We'll do halacha beis and mishaburans in Bishu. Right, we'll do halacha and Bishu.
One more word. We could have $10,000
I'll collect the fund. You know what you could do? You could turn it off.